Hi everybody, it's Kris. I'm doing another tutorial, and this one is for General Hux, and it's a pretty simple tutorial, but I thought I'd put it out there because there have been a few people who have asked me how to do this. In preparation, I've already styled my hair, so that's all done. I did attach my homemade sideburns to my face with some spirit gum. I have a tutorial on my website on how to make these. They're pretty easy to do. But yeah, I'll be adding even more styling product to my hair afterwards because, you know, if you want to do that General Hux look, you have to have shellacked hair, so I'm gonna be doing a little bit more. But basically I've just washed my face. I haven't put anything on, so I'll just go through my usual routine. As usual, every product that I use is just what I use. It's not like the end-all be-all product to use. You can pretty much use like all drugstore cosmetics for this. This is not a go to, you know, Sephora and buy high-end if you don't want to or you can't afford to. So what I'm going to start with is my my primer, and I'm using Tarte's Base Tape Hydrating Primer. I have a little, ooh, that's really bright, a little sample size that I got through one of my subscription boxes, so I've been using that, and I think I might end up buying a full size because I really like this product. Like, your makeup does not budge. So I'm going to start with that. I'm putting a little bit on my finger, not too much, and I'm just going to start putting it on my face. So the reason I put the sideburns on first and not after is that the spirit gum isn't going to adhere to makeup very well. So you're just going to put your makeup on around the sideburns, I guess the same way you would if you actually had sideburns, because it's not like you can just put sideburns on after. So I'm just going to put this on everywhere. You can also, if you have really dry skin, you might want to moisturize before you do your makeup. I do if it's really dry. Usually just in the winter. I have pretty oily skin, so I don't usually need to hydrate more. Also, I was a Twi'lek yesterday, so I probably still have some pink left in my pores, which is gross. And then also my skin is really mad that I did that, so it's kind of breaking out. It's like being 13 again. Yay. Alright, so I did that. Now I'm going to use, this is one of my favorite products. This is the, this is Benefit Cosmetics, the POREfessional. It's a, I like to call it pore spackle because it kind of smooths out if you've got large pores or just kind of imperfections. And it's like kind of a beige color. I'm not sure if that works well with dark skin tones. I don't know how well it blends in. So I'm just putting it where I have kind of problem areas. And this is kind of like what I'm doing now is my routine that I do for pretty much every type of makeup that I wear. This is kind of like my canvas that I start with. The weird thing about Hux is that I will be putting on makeup to make myself look less tired and puffy, to then add in makeup to make myself look tired and puffy. It's a very weird thing. Alright, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go to my concealer, and I use Clinique All About Eyes concealer. The color I use is light neutral. I think that's the lightest one that they have. I'm very pale, as you can see. It's kind of hard to find colors that match. I'm just going to dab a little bit on my finger, and then I'm going to kind of fill in some areas here. Again, I'm not sure why I'm bothering trying to cover up my dark circles, because I am going to kind of add some tiredness back in. Because he just kind of looks tired all the time. I mean, can you imagine going through the finances after Kylo Ren destroys the ship? I'd be losing sleep too. I'm not too worried about blending this in because I'm going to be putting some foundation on too. So I don't usually put concealer on everywhere, but my skin's so angry from the Twi'lek makeup that I'm going to have to kind of go through and patch. I think what I'll end up doing is I have another product I'm going to use to kind of cover up some stuff, which I'll show you in a moment. Okay, so that part is okay. And let's see here. So my magic product that I use for everything is MAC's Paint Pot in Painterly, and it's like this little cream base type of thing. I don't know really, I mean, I use it for eyeshadow base and for kind of as some concealer, because this one happens to be very close to my skin tone. So I use that to cover like healing blemishes and stuff like that. Because it hides them a little bit better than concealer does. So it's kind of like my magic product that I use for everything. And if I want to really hide my under eye circles, sometimes I will do this first and then put concealer on over that and then foundation. Because apparently I was born to look like I got punched in the eyes. I don't know. It's weird. My poor face is so angry at me. Why do you cover yourself in pink paint? Okay. Good enough. So that's what this, oh, while I've got it out, I might as well put it on my eyelids too. So like I said, I use it as an eyeshadow base. It's really nice for that. I pretty much only use it for an eyeshadow base for eyeshadows that are kind of more neutrals. If I'm using any of my brightly colored ones, I'll use a white base to make the colors pop more. But this is really nice for like neutrals and if you're doing like a smoky eye, like super dark browns or blacks or whatever. I like it because it's really smooth and it dries nicely and doesn't feel super heavy and gross. So that one's pretty cool. So then next I'm going to follow up with my foundation. I'm using L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Matte in 102 Shell Beige. That's about as close as I could get to my skin tone. It's a little bit darker, but it's fine. And I know some people use brushes and stuff to apply foundation, but I like my fingers because I don't really like a heavy application. I don't really have a lot of color correcting to do so far, which is good. I'm almost 40, so I'm glad that I don't have to cake myself in makeup. But so yeah, that's kind of the way that I do it, but I know that some people use brushes and that works pretty well for them. And I've got like really good lighting now, so I am seeing that this is actually kind of too yellow for my skin. I've been wearing this for a couple of years, so I didn't realize that I was wearing really poorly matched foundation. Might have to go play around with other brands, see what I can find. Maybe just go in and ask if they have like white paint, because that's about as close to my skin tone as I can get. I've also had a cold, so my poor nose hates me. very exciting, I know. Did I just get some on my hair? I can't tell. We'll figure it out later. What I've learned from doing these tutorial videos is that I basically just do my makeup, and then I'm just screwing up all the time and just going, it's fine, it's fine. It's gonna be my motto. All right, I think I got everything here. All right, so now I'm gonna go over with my translucent powder, and I use Clinique's blended face powder in transparency 2. I don't know what that means, but yeah, it's just loose powder. I always set my makeup to keep it from moving around. I've got a brush here, and I'm just gonna start with the forehead. Oh, my hair's already falling out of the gel. I am gonna have to spray like crazy. Can't look mussed up in the first order. I'm just gonna make sure that I got everything covered, that I'm not sticky anywhere. I'm gonna go in with my finger, just dabbing a little bit of the powder on, and kind of go under my eye, because sometimes it's hard to get really close with the brush. Gotta blend that in. Alright, I think I got everything. Feels good. All right, like this is basically like my canvas. This is what I usually start with. So my face is on. What I'm gonna do next is my eyeshadow. So I don't really go too crazy because this is supposed to be, I'm supposed to look like a guy. But that's hard for me to do because I'm not one. But I'm just gonna kind of, basically I'm just trying to make my eyes look kind of like tired and make myself look a little bit more angry than usual. I mean, I do have resting bitch face, but like resting Hux face is different. So the color I'm using first is from the Pretty Vulgar Nightingale palette, which is one that I really like. It's a lot of neutrals that are really versatile. I'm using one that's called Flip Out, and it's kind of a reddish brown. And that I'm going to do, so my eyelashes, so my natural hair color, as you can see from my eyebrows, is kind of like a light reddish brown. But I dye my hair much more vibrant red. And because of that, my eyelashes aren't like the color your eyelashes would be if you were a redhead. So what I'm trying to do with this eyeshadow is sort of get close to my lash line here to kind of almost make it look like my eyelashes might be a little bit more red. It's kind of a weird thing, but it's the best I can do because they don't really have, like, at least that I've been able to find, mascaras that are like hair colors to kind of make them look like they match your hair. Like all I can find is like bright red or bright orange, and that's not really the color I'm going for. And I'm just, I mean, it's really like just light, just to kind of get close to the lash line. I don't know that I really got that close because I'm using my phone as a mirror, and that is weird. But we're gonna try. Yeah, so it's a little bit, so you can kind of see that it like adds this look, like it might be a little bit more Auburn. Because I am not gonna be wearing mascara with this for reasons that probably make sense. So I want kind of my eyelashes to look red. Okay, so I kind of smudge that in. And I'm also going to do the same, just a little bit under the eye. It's not truly eyeliner, but kind of that same concept. All right. So now I'm going to go to kind of just a base color that's really neutral. So there's one in this palette that's called Hide and Seek, and it's just like a slightly darker color than, well, it's a few shades darker than my skin tone, but that's kind of what I use as my base to kind of make my eyes look a little deeper set or something. I don't know. I wish I knew the science behind why I do this. I really don't. I'm just like, this looks sort of dude-like. I don't know. Dudes have more menacing eyes. I don't know what I'm saying. I really don't know. All right, so I've got that. And then I'm going to go in with I'm using a MAC eyeshadow, just like their single pan eyeshadows, and one that's called Espresso. And that is the one I'm going to use for just slightly kind of creating a kind of a some darkness in the crease. Not too much. I'm not trying to give Hux a smoky eye, because that's not the way he rolls. At least on film. Who knows what he does when he's in his quarters. So just really subtle, like I'm not going too crazy. And then I'm going to use the same color to sort of do some contouring here. Just kind of helps with like the really tired, angry space dictator look, I guess. Again, I have no rhyme or reason for why I do what I do. And I basically am just following the bridge of my nose, kind of going up to my brow bone, kind of going in to my inner eye, kind of just blending out to just sort of make this look darker. You can see the difference, like that this is definitely more defined on this side now that I've done that. Alright, so I don't know. It's hard when I'm just using my phone as a mirror. I think that looks all right. And then what I'm going to go in with now is kind of this pinkish brown eyeshadow color I got. It's, again, it was something I got from a subscription box, so I don't know if it's part of a bigger palette or you can buy it. It's not even eyeshadow, it's blush. So I'm using blush, but it's the Balm Springs. So it's just a little guy here, but it's this, it's kind of a mauvey pink, but there's definitely a brown tone to it. And what this is going to do is I'm going to basically make my eyes look kind of red, like around the lids, like I have not slept for 3 weeks kind of a thing. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So I'm just going to kind of go close to the lash line here, kind of just work my way up. And just enough to give it just a little bit of a pinker hue. I mean, you're not trying to make it look like you're wearing pink eyeshadow. It's a little bit different than that. So I've got just enough there, and then I'm going to go under as well. And this is where you can kind of go a little bit more intense because that's probably where it would show up more. This is what I'm talking about. I basically tried to make myself look not tired, and now I'm going in and making myself look tired. All right, so kind of got that going, and that kind of blends the brown that I put in to kind of make it look more like red hair, kind of a eyelash color. So that's that, and then I will go in just not much because Hux is very pale. I am going to go in with just a little bit of color on my cheeks because I've kind of taken the pink tone out of my skin that you would have if you have red hair. So I'm using the Alamar Cosmetics blush trio, and I'm going to use Isla is the middle one, and it's kind of a coral pink. I'm just going to very lightly tap. Like, I'm not even going to go full on blush with this, just to give a little bit more color here. Kind of bring that back. And then now we're going to go to the part that I'm not really great at, but I'm learning, the contouring, because I don't have chiseled cheekbones like Donald Gleason does. What a jerk, having perfect cheekbones. So I'm going to use NYX Wonder Stick. It's a highlight and contour stick, and this one is the light medium one, so it's the contour side, or the shadow side, is on this side, and then there's a highlight side on the other. So I'm going to go through, and it's a cream stick, so it blends pretty easily. So I'm just going to start kind of from here and draw in like where I want my cheekbones to show, I guess. And I'm not perfectly even, but that's okay because this is all going to get blended in. And this is just sort of my first go through. So I'm going to go through with my fingers and just blend. And I know that I'm putting this on over powder, but powder kind of dulls the color if I do this before that, so I do it last. And I just blend it out and then do the same over here. I mean, you can do more dramatic, almost like drag makeup if you want to. I just don't, because I'm not gonna fool anyone. I don't look very masculine, which does not work well for all the costumes I do that are guy costumes, but that's fine. So there's that. 1 second, I do have to blow my nose because this stupid cold is ridiculous. All right, sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to kind of go in and do a little bit more in certain areas and just sort of build up till I'm happy with the results. It's a lot easier to do it in layers than try to do it all at once. Alright, so that I'm kind of okay with. Like I said, I go really subtle. I don't really want to go too far. And then I'm going to do some shadow here to kind of define this part of my face, because it kind of makes it look like I have more of a like a more strong like brow bone area, because men typically have more of a like broader kind of area up here. So I'm just gonna kind of do that and see if I can kind of give that illusion a little. Alright, there's that. Then I'm gonna do a little bit like under my jaw, because that's kind of a good thing to do. But not too much. I don't want to go too crazy. I also don't want it to look like there's like a very defined seam between my jaw and my neck either. It's kind of weird. I'm just gonna blend that in. Pretty okay. So now that I've done all the shadow parts, I'm going to go through with the highlight part. So what I'm going to do is go kind of over, like this is where the light would hit if I had amazing chiseled cheekbones. I don't, but we're going to draw them in anyway and just blend in. And this is kind of like, I feel like this is what makes the cheekbone stand out more than even the shadow does. Like, even if you just did this part, you probably would look like you have cheekbones, but shadowing and highlighting are contouring's best friends. And then I'm gonna go, so I put the dark parts here, so I'm gonna kind of do some light here and blend that in. And not much. I don't want to go like super highlighty there. There's that. And then I'm gonna do just a little above where I did my shadow. I have tried using powder type contouring makeup, and I just never was able to get it to look quite the way I wanted, so I'm really happy with this cream type. Okay, so I think I've pretty much got that all settled. I may, when I'm kind of getting ready and putting things together, may come in and put more shadow in, or, you know, kind of tweak it, but I've basically got some more of a definition going on here. So the last thing then is eyebrows. So I'm using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Auburn. And I love these pencils. It's a really fine pencil on one side, and then like a brush type thing on the end on the other side. So it's really good for getting really realistic looking brows. So I'm going to go through and make short little strokes to kind of mimic the direction of the hair. And with this, you know, you can go like a little bit outside of where your brows really are, because you are doing like man eyebrows. I don't go too much bigger than mine. But I do kind of make them a little thicker. Another thing too you can use if you can't find a brow pencil that matches your hair is you can use some eyeshadows. I've done that for some costumes for eyebrow colors that aren't normal human hair colors, like, you know, super bright red or blue or whatever, and that can work pretty well. Just have to get the right brush. Alright, so I've got kind of a base going on there now, and I'm going to go through with the brush and sort of blend it out. Sorry about that. I need to figure out a better way to do videos where I'm not going to run out of space when I'm doing this, but yeah, so as I was saying, you basically just brush this through, kind of blend your color in there, and then you can kind of go back in and add more if you want to. I kind of do it in phases and just kind of get to the right color and the right look. Alright, I'm going to blend that in a little bit. Alright, I think we're going to call it good. So that's basically it. That's how you hux yourself up. And you don't wear anything on your lips, so that's pretty easy. Yeah, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, you can always email me and I will do my best to respond. Yeah, so happy huxing.